Hello.
Hi. Greetings. Greetings and salutations.
Happy full moon, everyone.
Yes, indeed. Oh, it's glorious. Glorious, I tell you.
It's really good. I mean, this is a big deal for all of us.
Mm-hmm. It is. And you're busy over there doing your thing. Your things.
Yeah. Well, I had decided to do some spiritual alchemy because I was in a funk, and that's one thing I know how to do is change energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's key, you know. It is. It's something I talk about. Even, for myself, I've been in a funk on and off for the last, I don't know, for the last 2 months. And then it started to ease up for me. It comes and goes in waves. I realized, I'm like, But things started to shift a lot about a couple weeks ago. But yeah, we need to remember what we know, right? It's sometimes we don't do it for ourselves. We are always assisting others and guiding and giving the good advice that we know how to give and guidance, but then sometimes we're not doing it for ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I do that a lot, but then I always I want to say I push myself to
Mm-hmm.
remember why I got into spirituality in the first place, and that was, for myself. So I take myself back to the basics. Okay, wait a minute. How am I feeling? What do I do about this? It could be days. It'll take me like days just to do like a cleansing bath. And I'm just like, what is
Yeah.
wrong with me?
Ooh, I feel you on that one. I was talking about that earlier today because I came on kind of spontaneously, and I was talking about the importance of that cleansing, how simple and easy it really is. And to get yourself into the bath or into a shower or all the other various means of cleansing, all the different healing modalities for self, but just the importance of cleansing and doing that spiritual bath. And for those who can't go into a bath, there's a shower, right? What you can do if you only have a shower, you can still do that cleansing bath ritual for self, cleansing the aura and mind, body, and spirit. It's really key. Which I'm curious. Well, I'm so glad that we're here. There's so much that I want to talk to you about. Collaborate, discuss certain things and whatnot. And I'm like, we'll have other times as well. So, but I'm just curious. Speaking of cleansing, when it comes to like a bath ritual, what do you typically do? What's your go-to when you really need to just cleanse?
Well, if I'm not using my wholesale products, which are like pre-made, spiritual cleansings, and it's just like liquid, and maybe I'll throw some salt in there. Then I'll just go for the natural. So, like for instance, if you boil basil with salt, What is the other one you could use? You could use herbs, thyme,
Mm-hmm.
lemons, lemons, roses. You can boil all of this and throw it in your bath. So you would boil it like it would look like a tea, but you would pour it in your bath and soak in the tub for at least 20, 30 minutes. This is not like a regular wash up bath. This is like something you're soaking in and speaking
Mm-hmm.
to the water to cleanse you.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes.
I be going
Okay.
hardcore, girl.
No, I love it. I do too. And and sometimes if I don't have time, like I love to boil and create my own. It's nice to have stuff on hand that's already pre-made as well, but I do like to, to conjure my own goodies, and whether I'm boiling it or throwing it in the bath as the bath is running, And so I do pretty much the same. I am huge on rosemary. I use rosemary a lot. And so I typically, I'll put the sea salt and the Himalayan salt. I like to mix the two together. And then I take a lemon and squeeze a lemon in. And then I put rosemary essential oil and then rosemary leaves. And then I'll usually put a nice good size clear quartz in the bath. That's like on the fly. But I like to boil because it's simmering when everything's simmering together, like you just expressed. Which I haven't done that in a while. I need to do a really good one. And I want to put, I like to put clove in there, and clove and rosemary are my jams as far as cleansing baths. I just I rediscovered. Yeah, I do that a lot. Where I don't know if you do this. I have my go-tos, the stuff I use regularly and all the time, so to speak, and then I'll get stuck on using certain things and forget about other things. And so I'll rediscover oh, why am I not using this? I should be using this, or I should be using that kind of thing. And clove is one of them. I just started to get back into utilizing clove more.
Yeah, the clothes are good. I think it's you do have three messages, but I'll just say this real quick.
Okay, yeah, I do.
It's funny how things will take us back to the basics and remind us. And sometimes spirit, or even your own spirit, your consciousness will tell you something. So, like for instance, I've been going live a lot, and I'll just tell you this real quick, and then you can check your messages. I've been going live a lot. Everybody knows what my space looks like. Well, right before I talked to you, I've been burning a lot of things and showing people, to burn, certain things. And Spirit told me, burn black pepper. Okay, now this is very, very strong. Don't do it with kids or pets in the house. I mean, you can, but just open up the windows and the doors. Well, let me tell you, when I look, I said, well, let me see, what is this about? Because Spirit will tell me to do something that I've never done before. It actually cleanses your environment of negative energy, or any type of negative energy somebody else is trying to send into your space.
Yeah. Wow. So Spirit, I love that you express that, because it's something that happens often, and sometimes we ignore. I do at times, not as much as I used to, not as much over the years I've learned, but that's like with cloves, exactly what you just said, out of nowhere. It's like I heard that loud voice within my noggin. That's not my voice necessarily. Like, girl, you better get yourself some cloves and start burning and utilizing, because I'm getting ready to make some of my products I haven't made in a while. My sprays, smokeless smudging sprays and anointing oils and things like that. And little packages to put together for folks for bathing rituals, and it's been a little while since I've done that because I've kind of been a gypsy for the last year, and I didn't really have a place I felt where I can settle in, and now I am, and all my, all this stuff's coming forth with myself as far as what I need to do, what I need to make, and just hearing more clearly because I'm finally in my humble abode, my sanctuary where I can hear more clearly. So that's what I've been dealing with. Let's see, let's get these messages. Oh, Nagini.
Hello, beautiful cosmic oracle, just sliding through. 'Tis the season of reflecting and releasing. Are you doing intuitive guidance? I would love one if that's what you're doing tonight. Yes, thank you, beautiful.
All right, she left the room, but thank you for coming through. All right, we got Gabs. Hey, Gabs. How's it going?
Hey, Gabriel.
When I want to detox, when I want to cleanse, I use Himalayan sea salt and a hint of lime, a hint of lemon, a bit of nutmeg, a bit of cinnamon, a bit of coriander, a bit of parsley, and a few other things, and I mix it up, and then I let it cool until it's like blood temperature, and then I add my secret ingredient which jellifies it. Yep, you heard right, I jellify it. And then when it's jellified, I then use it like a soap, and I wash myself from head to toe with it. Now, does it work? Yes, of course. But at the same time as this, I do smell of all these herbs. And people go, what are you wearing, Gabs? And I just smile at them and go, mother's finest.
I love it. I love it. What a good combo of goodies. I love that. All right, we got another one from Gabe.
Also, my son's got a thing about Himalayan salt. He's got I got him a jar of it last year for Christmas, and he's still got it. I got my pedestal motor for his Christmas this year because he asked for it.
Well, that's really cool. So yeah, he's tapping into all of that,
I love that. Thanks for sharing, Gabs. Good to see you, by the way. Where's mine? I thought I brought it over here. So I wanted to, cinnamon's another one. I use a lot of cinnamon. It's very specific, and it's coming to that time because I usually use, cinnamon when we're switching out the years.
Yeah.
Right? It's like cinnamon and clove, bringing in, abundance and wealth and all avenues of it, not necessarily just the moolah, but yes, that too. Yeah, oh my goodness, girl. This Mercury in retrograde, I woke up this morning and I felt the greatest weight lifted off of me. I don't know. I know a lot of people, I've heard a lot of people express that it was a really rough one for them. And it kind of was for me, but it was also very cleansing in so many ways.
It was honey, let me tell you. And it's funny because a lot of people don't like it. You go on social media and people are, getting annoyed by other people's warnings and this, that, and the other. But what matters is, did you go through anything? That's the whole thing. Was there any mishaps? Was there anything that, made you feel uncomfortable? And if it was, then that's the proof in the proof. I mean, we're connected to the planets, period. It's energy. Mm-hmm. But not only that, people who felt it, they I want to say they protruded their energy out into the world, and it was like reciprocated. So what I could say, I'm not going to say we all, but a lot of people, spiritual people, were expressing that energy and putting it out, and it was bouncing from person to person. So what happens is we have
Mm-hmm.
like a grid of energy, not just from the planets, but from each other, and we're feeling everything. And then next thing you know, everything is just like in a total flux. So what I did for Mercury retrograde, I did show that on my live on Instagram. I did make a Mercury retrograde bag, but I also did a Mercury retrograde, kind of like a candle, spiritual candle thing, with just a black candle and a white candle. Very simple. One to release negativity, one to bring in positivity. And I burned a petition, a wish, and I just let it be like that. I did my spiritual cleansing, and I did some meditation, and that was it. I needed something simple and quick. And the thing about doing these type of things is believing in it. Okay, so you got to believe in what you're doing, or it's just not going to work. You just doing anything.
Yes,
Yeah.
that part. That part right there. Oh, it's true. Yeah, in all honesty, I found myself at times. This Mercury in retrograde shook me a lot, and I don't typically. The only thing that, how do I say this? Well, you hear people always talking in a more negative context to Mercury in retrograde, and I look at it very differently. As a lot of us spiritual people do, because I look at the positives of it, and I focus on what Mercury going backwards, what it really means and what it entails. And this time around, I was just having a hard time with it, a really hard time, but it was because of what was coming to fruition and the things that I was being shown with myself and then with others, as well in my life. And just the whole, it was needed. It was needed, very much needed, but it was really tough. And the anxiety level. And I found myself getting in a place of, like you said, we know what to do. And I say this all the time, we know what to do, right? But for some reason, I couldn't, do what I needed to do. It was weird. It was just interesting, but I realized it was for a reason. There was a reason. Or reason.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. The reason is to remind us how to pick ourselves up. That's the whole thing. It's like I feel like a lot of people got kicked in the we got kicked in the britches a little bit, kind of like a wake up call. And so what do you do when you get kicked down? You just stay down there. It's like when you're a kid, somebody pushes you and you fall on the ground. What do? You just sit there? No, you got to get back up. So this is the whole thing about Mercury retrograde. It takes us back to make us look at our reflection and look at things. And then, okay, stand back up. How are you going to do things differently next time? Because we had a lot of stuff. It wasn't just Mercury retrograde. It was the before. We had the man, look, 16-year karmatic cycle. I'm telling you, honey, I was seeing, I listen, I, not only just with my own karma, because I'm not perfect, but I was able to see people who had not treated me well, their karma in real time. And I was like, ooh. So that in a way, a lot of people love to see, other people going through their karmatic stuff, which, I mean, it could be a release, a relief, to see somebody who's done you wrong or something like that. But then also, that's also a wake up call. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, this person acted a particular way with me, and now they're eating dirt. Okay, should I feel a certain way about that? Should I be happy about that? But it also teaches you about karma. You can see it in real time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So true.
Everybody left the room. Girl, they gone. They like, I don't know where y'all going. It's aliens in the sky over the East Coast. Where y'all going?
Right?
I mean, it's ain't nothing crazier going on. Shoot, we just talking about planets. Anyway, I'm messing with you, girl.
Oh, that's too funny. All those dang drones, man. Somebody was talking about seeing them in Cali too. Did you see any? Have you seen these drones in Cali?
Well, I wish they would come over here so I could pack my bags. No, I'm just playing. No,
I know.
I'm
I
just
said,
playing.
"Mothership, where are you? Where are you? Come get me."
Yeah.
It's
Well,
that time.
some of us are chosen to stay here to help the masses, and I think somewhere along my timeline or my past life, I must have signed a contract, and I'm like, what did I say? I must have said I wanted to help people, and then I got in a whole bunch of trouble because there are some spiritual lessons that I was unaware of. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is, I've been shown so much over the last, it's just interesting to see certain things occurring now, like, that have been occurring that I've talked about for a while, like years ago, or, I've talked about this a lot where I've had these visions, these quote unquote dreams, but they were visions of so much, and I'm seeing it all play out right now, and it's really interesting. It's really interesting, and just getting more downloads as I go, and and what I'm supposed to be doing, and that's why I feel, or I should say, I know, I've been kicked by spirit, kicked around, knocked upside the head, like, darling, get off your ass. You got work to do. And that's recently happened to me. It was 4 weeks ago, this Tuesday. I had a really profound vision through the dreamscape, and a lot of traveling, astrally, and what I've been shown. And ever since then, there's just been so much, like, everything is making more sense, and I'm seeing a lot of things are being revealed to me, and Mercury and all the other planetary activity. There's so much going on in the cosmos, so much.
It's a lot. I mean, we're supposed to be. Hold on, one of my incense just dropped. I got to make sure we ain't trying to burn the house down on the full moon. Give me 1 second. See,
No.
Spirit be moving stuff around my house, girl. Hold on, don't get too excited. Let me just wait a minute now. Hold on. Okay, this is what I was going to tell you. What do you think about? And you just let me know what you think. Now, we're supposed to be in the age of Aquarius officially, in this Pluto
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
When you started hearing about that or seeing that, did you feel it right away? You're talking about dreams and visions, or did anything feel different to you?
Yes. What I saw that started right away for me was the masks dropping off of people, like big time. Like a lot of things being revealed that it was, and I think maybe at first, I can't even say that because I felt like it was like right away when I reflect back, and for me it was a lot of, I've been shown through this age of Aquarius, stepping into age of Aquarius, the mask, and not just, just across the board, not just in my personal life, but seeing it for others as well, and seeing it out there in the media, in the limelights and all that jazz, but very much so in my own life, a lot of things being divulged and confirmations about my gut feelings or my intuition, my sight, confirmations that, yeah, you weren't crazy about that. Finding out that I was pretty much on point, like, because sometimes I question myself. I still do after all these years, since my childhood, having quote unquote sight, and, I still question myself or ignore my intuition, but not nearly as much as I used to. I pretty much, for the most part, I don't, but there's times that I have. And, well, 2024,
Girl, you know how many people are ready to just write 2024 on a piece of paper and burn it?
Oh yeah.
Girl.
And I thought 2023 was bad because I have been going through it for a couple years now. Now that's another thing. It's really interesting, and I know why. For the most part, there are some things I still am like, what the hell's going on? And, trying to, make sense of it all. But there's a lot of stuff that I know why. And it was having to do with, it finally hit me when I was realizing certain things, and I was like, oh shit, that's right. I need to cut that cord, and I need to cut this cord. There were still attachments, and that's been the story of my life, removing for the last couple years, removing what needs to be removed, and then having people step into my life where, try to distract me. And there was times I did get distracted, and then I was able to wake up and do what I need to do and remove that person or a place or a thing from my, sacred space. So, but 2024, yeah. Oh man, have I witnessed so much in this last year and experienced so much in regards to people and the whole mask factor, like I said, realizing who's authentic and who is not.
Well, the mask came off real quick. I'll tell you that much. The mask came off immediately this year. And as far as letting people go, that's a very hard thing for me to do as well. I'm not going to sit here and try to act like, I could hold on to somebody for years knowing that it ain't right, until the universe says, okay, well, if you ain't going to do it, I'll do it for you. And I'm like, okay, so some people is easier to let go, and others I just don't want to because I'm too busy trying to fix. You got to fix yourself. Stop trying to fix other people. Stop trying to make them understand who you are. They don't want to meet you halfway. Let it go. And it's something that's hard for me to do, even though I help others do it. Like you were saying in the beginning of this show, it was something that was hard for me to do. And I was like, so when the universe cuts those cords for me, or my spirit guides, whatever, that's when I know. I'm like, okay, now I don't even have a choice. I didn't even have a choice to say yes or no. It was just done.
Yep. Oh, wow. I love hearing you. It's just nice it's refreshing to hear somebody else express that. I'll say that. It really is, because, oh man, it's been a ride this last year, and a lot of heartbreak in a sense, like as far as becoming close, having what you thought, as far as myself, meeting individuals and connecting and thinking it was a positive, it was a good thing, and then finding out, whoa, no. And just the disheartening factor for myself of like, I need to stop that. I was beating, well, I'm not beating myself up anymore, but there was a moment, like I said, a couple months ago, where I was just like, Wow. What else is going to happen? What's next? Come on. Can we simmer down for a minute? Can we just simmer down? But then realizing, well, cosmic, go within. You need to go within. And you need to really just pause and listen. You know, the art of silence, you know, the great teaching of the Sphinx, you know, to be silent, you know, to know, to will, to dare, and to be silent. And I went into that mode of silence, and I had to, and things started to make a lot more sense. But it was still hard. It was hard, you know.
Yeah. It's hard to let go. I mean, it's so much going on. You trying to have a hold on. I was getting ready to sneeze. I'm sorry. That pepper, girl. That pepper.
The pepper.
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore. So I would suggest don't do it unless you're ready for that. You know, with the doors and stuff, because this is serious. But it's hard to let go of something that you thought was a very strong connection. And it's funny the way the universe works, because the universe will start sending you other connections. Then you don't know if you can trust those connections.
Right?
So now you're looking at everybody like, who's the real one and who's going to come out this mask, you know, before the other one. I don't know what's going to hit me next. And it's really just, to be honest, it's really just life's way of showing you how people are, and people are different. This is why, I think I look forward to maybe taking a psychology class, because for the life of me, I'm like, what's wrong with these people? And then I have to stop and say, well, what's wrong with me? No, but then I have to look at myself and say, what's wrong with me? Is it me not accepting the people for who they are, or is it me just allowing people to treat, you know, you have to find your way in that. And if you can't get the answer, then just let go and let it flow.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. And that's the important part. And that's where, you know, a lot of people struggle with that, as far as looking at self, you know, and going within and looking, like you just said, like, well, what's wrong with me? Is there something wrong with me? It's not necessarily that there's anything wrong with, like, you know, wrong, quote unquote, but there is the fact of the matter that what is it that you've allowed or haven't allowed? And so here you find yourself in this situation, or having these falling outs with certain individuals and getting disappointed. And like, I have to reflect back and go back and be like, well, what happened? And what did I do? Or what, you know, it's not, I'm never pushing blame, you know, blaming others and not looking at myself. I always look at myself. And it's not easy to do, but it's important. You have to, in order to really see and therefore make sure that we get the lesson, you know, and we proceed forward instead of continuously making our own errors, you know, our mistakes or whatever you want to call them. But yeah, you're right. Like looking into self, and I have to remember that. And it's funny you said psychology, because I'm getting ready to go back to school. I'm a nurse, and so I'm flipping the script, and I'm actually going to get my degree to become a therapist, to go into mental health behavioral health.
Oh, well, congratulations. No, it's needed in the world. I'm trying to tell you, spirituality is needed, but also people need help. And so as you're helping yourself, you help yourself so you can help others. You heal yourself so you can heal others. You know, I mean, there is such thing as healing others as you are healing, but that's so, you know, there's only so far you can go with that, right?
Yeah.
Because then you get to the point of that unhealed part that, you know, you think you're there, but you're not there yet, and people are asking for help. There was something else I wanted to tell you, girl. Oh, I wanted to, you could check your message, but after the message, let's talk about, you know, when we're done talking about this, having high expectations of people.
That's a good one. Yeah. All right. Hey, Nikki Love. How you doing?
Oh my gosh, Cosmic, that's amazing. We definitely need more therapists in this world, especially therapists that care about humanity. So shout out to you for that. That's great.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. What I can't wait to do is actually, my goal is to have my own practice where I can implement the spiritual components as well with healing and the somatics, utilize the top down approach as well as the bottom up approach, and bringing in spirituality. So I have some plans for myself, but I want to be able to do that. I really want to bring in the spiritual components, but yeah, it's needed. Nurses are needed too. Don't get me wrong, but I got a little burnt out. I found my calling is truly going this route. It was the original thing I was doing in life before I decided to go into nursing. But we need this country. Whew, mental health is, and it's yeah. So I have plans, and I have a passion in regards to my elders and the baby boomers that are needing mental health or healing, behavioral health, mental health healing. And it's sad because, I'm a case manager nurse. And so when I got into this department, this area of nursing, it opened my eyes. And it's actually what influenced me to want to go back to school and utilize the company I work for to pay for my education, which is a beautiful thing. But to be able to accept the Medicare, the world of Medicare, it's a shit show. It's a freaking shit show. And it's so sad because there's a lot of places, due to the fact that Medicare is so complex and is difficult to work with as far as, getting quote unquote paid, that a lot of people aren't accepting Medicare right now. And I'm like, this is crazy, because we have the baby boomers that are needing so much, especially that attention to the mental health. And then we have all the youngsters as well, and everybody who's been affected by all the changes. And so much has changed within the last 4 to 5 years. We had the pandemic that helped us to get to this place of utter chaos in the medical field and in the mental health and behavioral health field. And so, yeah, it's just, there's a lot that needs to be worked on in our system. And, it's just something that got me to this place where I feel in my heart that this is what I need to do. And I have, like I said, I have some plans, because I will utilize and bring forth all the spiritual guidance and teachings and healing as well. I'll be able to do that more freely and do what I feel is necessary, as opposed to being a nurse and being told and restricted in a lot of ways, where I don't feel as much as like I'm doing what I need to do for humanity, so to speak, if that makes sense. But yeah, so.
Well, that's really good, and congratulations, like Nikki said. And I might know a couple of people who have their medical background, but also do, like, I have one that she does holistic healing, but she also has like her degrees. I met a group of people a couple of years ago. I still have contact with some of them. I'll send you the one. I talked to her. She's a hypnosis, but I believe she has her doctorate, or she has some type of background in health and stuff like that. So I can try to send you, maybe like one person, and maybe you can have a conversation or look at her page and see. I found out, and I'll just say this so you could check your messages. I found out through just meeting other spiritual people that, nurses, certain doctors, They also believe in spiritual and holistic healing, and it is possible. I didn't even know this. It is possible to integrate both in order to help people.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Very much so. Very much so. Nice. I would love that. I would totally appreciate you sending me that 411. Absolutely. Where did I? Okay. Let's get these messages real quick, and then we'll get back to what you were wanting to talk about, because it's important. All right, Nikki.
Also, I'm sorry, you guys. That was so rude of me not to even say hello. Hello, Miss Cosmic. Nice to see you on here again. Miss Lore. I don't know how to pronounce the first name, girl, so I didn't want to butcher it, so I'll call you Miss Lore. But how you doing? I follow you on Instagram, and I'm really interested in your practice. It really is great.
Oh, okay. Thank you. It's nice meeting you. Yay. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, nice. Love it. All right, Nikki. We got a couple more from Nikki.
You know, Cosmic, one thing about you for sure, you are definitely very helpful. So I feel like in this lifetime, you being here and meeting like all these people, especially on stereo, you've definitely made an impact on a lot of us, for real.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, Nikki.
No, seriously, Cosmic, I'm glad you touched on that because my mom is one of those baby boomers. And when I tell you the hurt that she probably experienced in her life, growing up as a child to through a teenager and then as an adult, I'm almost positive it's very, very deep. But the hush part of the baby boomers is what makes her still stay quiet about whatever she went through. And I just want her at 73 years old to get it off her chest so she can, you know what I'm saying, just live the rest of this lifetime in peace. Because I feel like she is still angry, so she takes it out on people like her kids, you know what I mean? And I don't, I'm not mad at her. I'm not angry at her for, it, because I understand it. But sometimes we got to find that peace. Sometimes we got to find that happiness.
Yeah. The thing about baby boomers, I will touch on this and I'll play the last message. The baby boomers got a real, their parents come from a particular generation. It's called the silent generation. And they did a whammy on their kids, aka the baby boomers, right? The baby boomers did a whammy on us X generation and millennials. It's really fascinating when you look at the generations and what it all entailed, that, what they had to go through or what was the norm for them and what they were allowed and not allowed. And, the silent was just like, you didn't talk about your problems. You didn't talk about anything. You kept it all locked in. And then that influenced their children, and then that influenced their children. And so it's a really interesting thing I want to touch upon later at a different time. I'm going to actually get into that. I want to go over the generations and what each generation entailed, because it's really fascinating and it starts to make a lot of sense. So yeah. All right, Nikki.
Sorry for the overloaded messages, you guys. You guys are just very interesting to me, and I don't mean to bogart your conversation with messages, but I'll sit here. I'm gonna be quiet now.
No, it's all good. It's good to ask questions, and thank you so much for the love and support. So before we talk about the high expectations, because I might take like a little 2-second break. I gotta, but what I was gonna say is generational healing. Now, one thing I do want to say right now, because it's the full moon and because elders were brought up, I'm that one in my family right now, on this side, that side, as many sides, okay, that is trying to and has tried to help heal those generations and help them to understand Unfortunately, I'm one of the younger ones, so I'm not listened to as much. And so what happens is the I want to say the respect factor is not there as it should be, unless something comes to a head and then everybody's like, oh, as opposed to maybe like, one of my older siblings that says something and everybody's like, okay, the elders understand more. And it's unfortunate because they need to heal. They don't know how to heal. And a lot of them are stuck between the ages of, I'm going to say that between the ages of about, I'm going to go as early as 56 to 83.
Yeah.
Okay. That generation right there. Oh boy. This year,
Mm-hmm.
2024. I mean, it gets me to the point to where I don't want to feel disrespected, and I get to the point where I'm not feeling respected, and then I get to the point where I'm like, this person has never healed at all, has bottled this up for 25 to 30 years, and then boom, shabam, and I'm just like, so I've tried my best as far as like within my own family. And some people at elderly ages, I had to just step back because I said, well, maybe listening to me is a little too much. So I will allow you to listen to the sibling or whoever it is that you're more closest to, and maybe that can help you. So what I said is instead of, no jealousy or anything, I said, what I'll do is I'll pass this information to the people that they listen to. Okay, because they're always going to have that one favorite. We all know that.
Yeah.
Let me pass the information to the one that they listen to and use this person, not use them, but I'm just going to say it, don't take it out of context. Use this person as a mediator for the elder. And whatever, if the message can get to them in a way that they can understand, because my energy or whatever way I'm trying to, talk to them about it is not coming through, then I'll do that. So that's just me out of love saying, you know what? Okay. So right now, and I'm very good with elderly people. I mean, we know as spiritual people how important elders are as far as learning different things. But when you have an elder that has not healed, that is still putting toxicity into the bloodline, even for the newer generations, that's when you have to find some type of mediation there. Okay, so I wanted to say that, and then I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. Oops. What did I just do? Oh, okay. So, with that being said, you know what I'm going to do real quick? Oop, hold up. My phone's trying to tell me something. A low battery. Let me plug in. So here we are, new moon. The full moon. The full moon. I did a show earlier today. I was just nudged to do so. And speaking upon the specifics of the new moon. New moon. Why did I keep saying the new moon? The full moon, girl. Come on now. The messages, I just wanted to touch upon specifics. So I came through and got into the whole full moon. And it is, of course, the last full moon that is happening right now. And it's the cold moon. And this moon is in Gemini, which is an air sign. And it's all about communication, because that's what Gemini represents. Each air sign, they're big on communication. They each have their particulars in regards to communication, if you will. And I had talked about it being a time to reflect upon and to release anything and everything that is getting in the way of you saying what you need to say. So that is a little something that, you know, that energy is here with us with this particular full moon being in Gemini, utilizing your voice. And therefore, what does that mean? That's in connection to the throat chakra, right? So this particular energy center, we should really be focused on making sure that it's balanced, that it's working the way it's supposed to work for our higher selves, for our highest good. And I was just, you know, I kind of touched upon that earlier today, and making sure that you're doing the right things you need to do for that throat chakra, aka I always say Aritu because that is the original name. That's a Kemetic name for the energy. Aritu translates to energy organ. It's an organ. They looked at it as an organ with these are energetic organs within our body, you know. So, yeah, I just wanted to express that. And
Yeah.
full moon is, of course, this particular full moon is ruled by Mercury. And the Mercury in retrograde ended. Ooh, woohoo! And so it's just that, you know, it's a perfect time to reflect on the lessons that we've learned throughout this year surrounding speaking your truth and really, really, truly expressing yourself you know, with the authentic, expressing yourself authentically, you know, so, yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, girl. I think, you know what, I think people are learning how to find their balance. Now, that's one thing that this year has taught us is finding our balance. Because right now there is a darker energy out there, and I don't think a lot of people know how to juggle that.
Yeah.
And they're wanting to feed that more. But, you know, like anything else, if you feed one side more than the other, you know, it can be like, you know, the scales would be imbalanced. So I think a lot of people are juggling, learning how to deal with that. And they're like, you know, I'm going to speak out. I'm speaking out. I'm yelling out. You know, I do the same thing. But then I pull back,
Yeah.
you know,
That's so true.
and
I'm glad you said that about that is something I've touched upon here and there. And I've been touching upon it a little bit more because I realized, you know, when sitting back and looking, I'm like, God, what is going on? You know what's going on, cosmic, but what's really going on? And there's that there's that dark energy, and there's so much imbalance going on too, that folks are just loud and out, like, and they don't know how to, like you said, there's a lot of that chaos energy that I've observed, you know, in my surroundings, in my personal life, outside of my personal life, looking at what's going on out there, you know, with folks around me, here on all the different social media platforms, just sitting back and really observing, and I'm like, wow, it's true. There's a lot going on, and folks, for the folks that aren't tapped in, or what I would maybe deem as mundane, they're having a really difficult time because it doesn't make sense. You know, they don't know what the hell's going on.
well, what happens is they're spazzing, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I do have a podcast on a different platform, and I left it there on purpose, and I snapped, and the whole community was like, "Whoa," because I was so upset that people were taking their spiritual gifts to attack each other, and somebody tried to attack me, and I wasn't having it. And I wanted to address my reasoning for what I do and make sure people didn't get me misconstrued. And then I started coming out more to the world, and I'm like, you know, because I had been in hiding for a minute, I had been in a very hermit mode, dark divine, feminine, but a very, very dark place. And I was dealing with some people that weren't good for me. So I was trying to juggle that. And a lot of my followers, like, I remember when you, and I'm like, I know, just try not to remember it, because I know it was like, it was really deep. And everybody's like, girl, what's going on with Artie? But what I said is, you know what, let me go ahead and transmute this energy. So I go back and forth a lot, but yeah, I left that on my website. You know, if you go to artemisoraclecards.com and you hit podcast, you will hear that very last one where I was flashing off. And that was in like, what, August, I think? It was recently. Oh yeah, I went fly. So I understand, but what I didn't want to do, even though it's there, I left it there on purpose. I don't know if I'll change it, but what I wanted to do is allow people to hear that, and then allow people to see, oh, this is what she was talking about. I said, you know what, I'm just going to come out here raw, and I will let people judge my character for who I am. Okay. And I think just being real like that was enough to let people know, okay, all right, we see what's going on. What the imbalance is when somebody continues that behavior. Okay, you can everybody has a right to flash off. Okay, when they feel like they're disrespected, or they feel like they see something that's not right, maybe in the spiritual community they want to speak. But it's when it's continuous, every single show, every single time, every single show, every single, video. It's like the person is always bringing that anger energy every single time. Some people live for that. They only love the anger energy. But me, I'm not trying to live that every day. I don't want everybody to see that every day. I don't even want to feel that every day. I like happiness. I like light sometimes, So yeah. I'm like, I ain't out here with swords and knives, every day of my life, honey. I like the sun. I like the breeze, the wind, the beaches, beauty, so yeah, that's just.
Yes. I feel you. I'm going to have to listen to that now, because I want to hear you.
Oh, girl, you don't even want it. You're going to be like, whoa. Yeah. It's still up there too. I'll figure out when I'm going to change it. Maybe for the new year, I'll I could use, this particular show is actually a more constructive, better, calm, very beautiful spiritual show. I would rather have something like that, up there, instead of what I have. But if you're going to catch it now. Cause yeah, I went fly off. Oh, yeah, I did. And I left it there too. I said, whoever taps on my website from the internet, they're gonna be like, oh wait, who is this? Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I'm chuckling because that's kind of what, there's some things that I've dealt with over the last couple months that it was kind of the same thing, and I started, and not necessarily that maybe somebody was intentionally doing well. Not this time. There's been some other things that I've had to kind of battle and block because of these folks wanting to attack. And I'm like you. It's so disheartening, above and beyond, to see people in the spiritual community attacking one another. And then it has me, reflecting like upon that, like what's really going on? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of falsified junction to me that I start to witness. Like, okay, yes, we all have the right, like you said, to go off the fly, to to stand our ground, and we may go off from time to time because of what's happening, and that's A-okay, as long as we can push forward and move on and not stay stuck there. But just observing, and part of what I've observed is folks that claim to be this, that, and the third, but it's just a claim. It's not authentic. You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of that recently, and maybe there is some authenticity there. And I will say, in my situation with certain individuals, yes. But then again, there's a whole lot of other mumbo jumbo going on, and it was a big slap in the face for myself, and I kind of, you know, I wilded out a bit, and I had to, rightfully so, because I'm not having it, and I was very disappointed, not because of expectations, by the way. Speaking about expectations, because that's something that I do my best. I've learned the hard way over time. In my 47 years, I've learned not to have expectations. I don't. I can't, because in the past it's only hurt me to have those expectations of folks. So, yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people wanted to jump on the bandwagon. This happens year after year. Things get popular. People want to, kind of get into doing stuff. And, but the thing about it is you can only play so long. You either you are, whatever. And, but at the same time, I believe that all of that was necessary. I mean, I got tested this year, the last year, the year before that. People always want to, test me and see if it's real. But what I try not to do is be like everyone else. I just come out and I'm just like, this is me. Okay. But I do believe there was a battle of power and influence as far as like social media. And then, so what happens with these people, or people who are like that, people who are influenced by other people and then try to, be something that they're not, is that their cover gets blown. And the cover gets blown. It doesn't start with social media first and what we see. It starts with them at home when they realize, I might not be all of what I say. So what am I going to do now? Well, I'm just going to get on the screen and I'm just going to talk to people and I just got to keep going. And now there's two things that can happen. I'm not saying it's all negative. Either they will fall into place with the fake avatar they have built for themselves and they will integrate that. Okay. So now we're going to talk about like futuristic stuff. All right. So we have avatars out here. Okay. We got AI and all of this stuff. Either they're going to learn how to integrate into who they want to be as they're getting into this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or they're going to fall off and they're going to end up just doing something else, or doing something that more aligns more with them. Whether people question who they are or not, it don't matter, because you can only go so far faking and pretending. Like right now, there's people doing readings all over the place. Now, some of them are learning. It doesn't mean that they're not going to find their gifts doing it. They may end up being really good, but they're testing out the waters. The problem is when somebody who feels like they are better than this person, or they can see that the person is new, and they start to battle with the person and attack them instead of letting them fall on their own face to learn how to do things right, or to learn how to intuitively read tarot or something like that. So we're not giving each other a break out here, but we're also faking it, so I guess, you being a spiritual sister, where is the middle line with this? You know what I'm saying? If we really think about it, where is the middle line? You want to be this, but you're trying to learn how to actually be it, and you're out on social media, or you're out there before you even figure it out. Okay, so now what do? Do you let it go? Do you close down shop? Or do you try to see how you're going to finagle it? Because now you may have people saying, wait a minute, you ain't the real thing. So this is what's happening with people. If you're seeing it and feeling it in this age of what we're going through and this spiritual time portal that we have just hit, this is what's happening with people.